My favorite person growing up in the 90s and going to church was my Sunday school teacher named Miss Peggy. They had just launched Sunday school at our church, and I was the only student in her class. So I thought Miss Peggy was gonna phone it in. You know, wheel in the TV, play some VeggieTales, play some Bible Man, you know, some McGee and Me. I wasn't gonna fault her, it was just me and her in there. She didn't have to do anything. But she was like, hey, Shama, I'm gonna teach you lessons. I'm gonna teach you about the Bible. And so one Sunday she said, hey, next Sunday I'm gonna start teaching you about the full armor of God, and we're also gonna make the armor out of cardboard. So the following Sunday I showed up to church with my little Bible. She teaches me about the shoes of the gospel of peace. And then we make some out of cardboard. I put them on. And she was like, all right, we're gonna leave all the pieces here in the church until we're done, and then you can take them home. I take the shoes off, I leave, I show up another Sunday, all right? We make the belt of truth, I put it on, I feel great. I'm so excited. The sixth Sunday was my favorite because I knew we were gonna do my favorite piece of armor. That's exactly, the sword of the Spirit. So I showed up to church with my little Bible. I'm like, hey, Miss Peggy, and she did the lesson. And so then I start looking around for the arts and crafts, and I go, hey, Miss Peggy, when are we gonna start making the sword? And Miss Peggy said, Shama, you've had the sword this entire time. It's the Word of God. Nah, don't clap for that. No, I hated that answer. I was excited about that sword. I was like, hey, I'm trying to beat up my sister with that sword of the Spirit. I got all the other pieces of armor. What are we doing? I'm trying to fight trees. She did a lot of like object lessons. Miss Peggy loved props, so we made a slingshot, and she taught me how to use it outside. One Sunday, we made bread and fish. It was a lesson about the feeding of the 5,000. And then one Easter Sunday, I walked in, I got to the door, and I saw that she had a couple of 2x4s, some nails, and a hammer. I just ran to big church. I was winded. My dad was like, is everything okay? I was like, nah, I think Miss Peggy was gonna crucify me. And I kind of get the gist of how that works. I don't need an object lesson for that.